Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Gone are the days of wrestling with our favorite LJN wrestling figures, trying to convince them to stand up. What's a guy to do? I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get on Etsy and look up 4 Left 3D Creations and get yourself these amazing custom LJN figure stands. There is a custom stand available for every single one of your LJN Wrestling Superstar figures. Make your display shine by grabbing these custom LJN stands from 4 Left 3D Creations today.
Well, hello everybody. Jason up, New Latest Revolution Cave. It's Monday. I hate Monday. I love Saturday nights and I love Sundays. Not Monday. I don't like Monday. I can never get in the groove of Mondays. Just don't like it. But channel likes it. We like it here because it's LJN's Revisited. If you wonder why there's a space over there, it's because I'm trying to move that wrestling stuff into the shelves. So this might, because that's all wrestling stuff. Not this stuff over on this side. That's like, you can see the Mad Ball and some, so there's some wrestling stuff in there. But this stuff, I'm going to try to get it over there somehow. But we'll see. I don't like the look of the blank. I don't like the blank. It's LJNs. We're taking a closer look at the LJNs. It's one of 2 videos today. We've got pickups later today. There's 3 or 4 things coming in the mail today that I'm excited about. There's something that came last week that I didn't get to show you. So we got some stuff to show off today. Before we do that, we're going to look at an LJN figure. Another one of the most used LJN figures, most played with, most easy to grab and just have a random match with Greg Valentine, with Randy Savage, with the Iron Sheik. I always had this guy versus the Iron Sheik, always. Before we look at him, you've got to have a way to display your LJN figures. Now, don't do it like I used to do. Don't just slam them all on a shelf and have them leaning up against each other like Adrian Adonis is all hulked over. How does Bruno Sammartino stand? He just doesn't. Elizabeth, forget it. You got to lay her down, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Go on 4 Left 3D Creations page on Etsy. That's right, Etsy. You've heard of it. 4 Left 3D Creations, and get your custom LJN stands. You can tell by the stand. I'm giving you a clue who we're talking about today. This is the Tito Santana stand from 4 Left 3D Creations, and that, of course, only means that we're talking about Tito Santana. Again, one of the most used figures. Iron Sheik versus Tito Santana was a simple match that I could have anytime, always did. It was always fun. Valentine and Santana had a bunch of matches. Savage and Santana had matches. I just used them all the time. The play pose is fine. You know, the play pose was, it's an odd pose, but it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite poses. I would always do the flying, the flying forearm? What did Jesse call it? The flying jalapeno? Because you can bend his arm, right? So, I don't have any wrestlers. I have a bowling pin. Wrestler A comes off the ropes. Tito, I used to fold that arm down and do the flying forearm, right? I had to play with, I had to create real looking play, you know what I mean? I couldn't just slam them all around the ring. I had to, you can kind of, I used to throw punches by like holding his fist in instead of just swinging, I'd hold his fist. Anyway, not that I still do. That'd be weird, right? Yeah, Tito Santana, multi-time Intercontinental Champion in the Federation, definitely never gave him a run with the world title. I'm sure he had the tag team titles. I don't know with who. I don't remember teaming Tito because, until Strikeforce, and I really wasn't playing that regularly when Strikeforce came out. In fact, I never even had Rick Martel as a kid. Tito in real wrestling had such random partners. He was never a tag team guy until Strikeforce, but they would team him here and there with Ricky Steamboat or with Junkyard Dog or, maybe even Jimmy Snuka, maybe throw him in a 6-man tag, in Philly, a main event in Philly or something. But Tito never had a regular tag team partner at all. So he didn't have one with the LJNs either. I really didn't use Tito as a singles or as a tag wrestler. Could they have done the little sombrero on the back? Sure, they could have. I mean, they did that. They do that all the time. You got Oregon on the back of Billy Jack Haynes' trunks. You've got, the lightning bolts on Tito's trunks and boots for Strikeforce. They could have easily put the sombrero on the back, and I think that would have been a cool, this little thing right here, right? Just like on the stand. I think that would have been a cool look. I have met Tito. We've told that story in the past. I won't bore you with it again. It wasn't the best meeting. My friend Dave, who is watching, and we communicate. We're communicating currently as I'm making this. He knows. He was there. He had a better time working with Greg the Hammer Valentine. I got stuck with Tito, and he yelled at me the whole time because his Polaroid wasn't working. But whatever. We won't get into that again. So that put a bad taste in my mouth for him. And I've heard from everybody else in the world that he's like the nicest guy ever. I'd like a second chance to meet him. And I will tell him how he was mean to me. And maybe he'll say, I'm sorry. And then I can put him back on my list of nice people. But it was a bad experience. And you know what I don't like? Again, probably very isolated. But like, if you're going to be nice, like he was super nice to everybody who was meeting him because he's supposed to, right? And it's a meet and greet. Like, why, don't go to a meet and greet if you're not going to be nice. But what I don't like is if you're going to be super overly nice to the fans, but then you're treating the people who are working for you like jerks, then you're not a good guy, right? If you're going to be a jerk, just be a jerk to the fans and a jerk to the people that you're working with. But, don't. I don't like that, like your own, that's fake, so whatever. It doesn't matter. I won't hold a grudge against Tito, or will I? Great figure. No idea when I got him. Can't remember when I got him at all. Might have been, I assume that a lot of these guys, before we get to the next shelf, whereabouts, maybe around, I don't know, maybe around Billy Jack Haynes was Christmas 86. Christmas 86, I got that big, box of LJNs. I assume that Tito was in that box. I assume. Do I have the poster for Tito? I'm looking at them. I'll put up a picture for you. I do. I have the poster for Tito, and it's strangely, the poster for Tito, and I'll show you, the poster for Tito looks very much like the prototype Tito that never made stores, but was available to purchase by me about 8 years ago or so from an LJN employee, and I didn't. That weird shaped prototype Tito that you see on the back of packages. The poster is sort of in the pose of the figure. Anyway, I don't know. Here's Tito. Let's take a closer look at him. All right, once again, Tito Santana's beautiful custom LJN stand from 4 Left 3D Creations. Get on Etsy and purchase these stands. You will not be disappointed. They are fantastic. And here he is. Here is Tito Santana. Good looking figure, good looking face. That is certainly Tito. That is that 80s feathery hairstyle that clearly needs a little touch up, but I probably couldn't get that same brown black combination. Very thin figure, kind of a strangely thin figure. With you can see the muscle fibers, and you know what I mean, like in the shoulders and in the chest there. Strangely thin figure, but I loved it. I just loved this figure. We got a clenched fist. We got an open hand. We got the purple trunks, purple knee pads, black boots, white wrist tape, sorry. That's a good face. That's a good Tito face. Arriba! Arriba! So I need my Hispanic friends to chime in here. I thought it was Arriva with a V. And I think I read it as Arriva. Is it? But then I've also seen it as Arriba as well. So is it B or is it V? And doesn't it mean, let's go or come on or something like that? But I thought it was Arriva. And then Tito would just say, and I also heard, let's take a look at the back. I also heard that Tocula, Mexico isn't a real place. That it's Toluca, Mexico. And that Howard Finkel said it wrong. And it just stuck. There's the socks. I don't know if that's real or not. Obviously, a Google search can tell us. But is it Toluca or is it Tocula? Is Tocula a real place? Is a flying burrito a real thing? Is a flying jalapeno real? Okay, I need our Hispanic friends to tell me if a flying burrito is real, according to Jesse Ventura. Will you stop, Jess? All right, there he is, Tito Santana, extremely used figure. Tito versus Iron Sheik is my most go-to memory match of LJNs. Tito versus Iron Sheik. And of course, Tito versus Greg Valentine. All right, next time we will do the tag team, the SD Jones brothers. That's right. SD Jones and his tag team partner, SD Jones, on the next LJN Revisited. Goodbye, Tito.
Arriba or Arriva, not sure.